welcome back to the Room of Requirement. So this is the fourth video, I believe, covering grimoires, codexes, and manuscripts. This is part of a course that you can take. I will have all of them listed in the course, so check out the courses tab. Today I'm going to be talking about the Picatrix, medieval astrology, hermetic magic, and the living cosmos. So the book recommendation for this one is the complete Picatrix. This is the occult classic of astrological magic, Liber Apparatus edition. This is translated by John Michael Greer and Christopher Warnock. Okay, so it's about medium thickness. It's not too bad. Once again, I will say it's going to be a lot easier for you if you have a basic understanding of astrology, because all of ceremonial magic is astrological correspondences and working directly with the zodiac and all of its correspondences through all of the systems. So learning the elements, the zodiac, alchemy, Kabbalah, all of those things is going to make it a whole lot easier for you to pick up a book like this and be able to read it and understand it. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, the Picatrix is one of the most important and mysterious grimoires of the Western esoteric tradition. Unlike the Lesser Key of Solomon, which is famous for spirit evocation, the Picatrix is best known as a vast work of astrological and talismanic magic. It teaches that the heavens are not distant or passive, but alive with powers that can be drawn into images, stones, metals, prayers, suffumigations, and ritual forms. The original Arabic title is Gayat al-Hakim. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Usually translated as the aim of the wise or the goal of the sage. Scholars generally date the Arabic work to around the 10th or 11th century, and the Latin version, known as the Picatrix, circulated in medieval Europe after translation in the 13th century. The Warburg Institute's edition identifies the Picatrix as the Latin version of the Gayat al-Hakim, edited by David Pingree, and classifies it under magic, astrology, and astronomy. What makes the Picatrix so important is that it is not merely a spell book. It is an entire philosophy of celestial influence. It blends astrology, Hermeticism, Neoplatonism, talismans, spirit work, planetary correspondences, and metaphysics, all into one of the most complete manuals of astral magic ever preserved. The Picatrix is a medieval grimoire of astrological magic. Its central idea is that spiritual forces descend through the planets, the stars, the zodiac, and celestial images, and that the magician can work with these forces through properly constructed talismans and ritual timing. This places the Picatrix at a different category from grimoires like the Goetia. The Goetia is primarily concerned with named spirits and evocation. The Picatrix is concerned with celestial power, how the movements of the heavens influence the lower world, and how images, materials, and ritual acts can become vessels for that influence. The text is large, complex, and encyclopedic. It contains philosophy, astrology, talismanic theory, correspondences, invocations, images of the planets, images of zodiacal signs, and discussions of how celestial forces shape earthly reality. The Latin Picatrix was translated from Arabic into Spanish and then Latin in the 13th century during the intellectual world associated with Alfonso X of Castile. Alfonso X of Castile. The Picatrix comes from a world where astrology, philosophy, astronomy, medicine, alchemy, and magic were deeply intertwined. To the medieval and Renaissance mind, the cosmos was not dead machinery. It was a living structure of influence, sympathy, and correspondence. The planets were not only physical bodies, they were powers. The zodiac was not merely a symbolic wheel. It was the architecture through which celestial force entered the material world. Metals, stones, plants, animals, scents, colors, and images were all believed to participate in the hidden relationship between heaven and earth. This is why the Picatrix became so influential. It gave magicians a theory of how celestial forces could be received, concentrated, and directed through talismans. In this sense, the Picatrix is one of the great manuals of as above, so below, made practical. The Arabic title, Gayat al-Hakim, or The Aim of the Wise, reveals the deeper ambition of the text. This is not a book of casual curiosity. It presents itself as a work for the learned, the disciplined, and the philosophically prepared. The wise are not merely people who want results. They are those who understand that magic must be rooted in knowledge of nature, the heavens, and the hidden structure of reality. The Picatrix assumes that the magician must understand astrology, timing, images, materials, planetary qualities, and spiritual correspondences. This is the first major teaching of the Picatrix. Power without wisdom is crude, but wisdom without application remains incomplete, and the text tries to unite both. The core teaching of the Picatrix is that celestial forces can be drawn into earthly forms. This is the basis of talismanic magic. A talisman is not merely a lucky object. In the Picatrix, a talisman is an image or object created under specific celestial conditions so that it may receive and hold a particular planetary or stellar influence. The object becomes a container for a force. This is why timing is so important. The magician does not act randomly. They work when the heavens are aligned with the desired influence. The correct planet, sign, degree, hour, material, image, and intention all matter because they create sympathy between the celestial and material realms. In simple terms, the Picatrix teaches the magician that the magician must align the earthly vessel with the heavenly current. The planets are central to the Picatrix. Each planet carries distinct force and temperament. Saturn is associated with time, limitation, age, heaviness, discipline, depth, and hidden wisdom. Jupiter brings expansion, honor, prosperity, justice, and benevolence. Mars governs conflict, courage, blood, force, and severance. The Sun gives vitality, illumination, kingship, health, and spiritual radiance. Venus brings love, beauty, pleasure, harmony, attraction, and art. Mercury governs intellect, speech, commerce, writing, cunning, and interpretation. The moon governs dreams, fertility, change, growth, emotion, and the movement of subtle forces. The Picatrix does not treat these as abstract ideas. It treats them as operative powers within nature. The magician studies them in order to understand how different forces manifest and how they may be worked with through talismanic forms. One of the most important teachings of the Picatrix is the power of images. In astrological magic, an image is not merely decoration. It is a symbolic body prepared to receive a celestial influence. The image gives shape to the force. The material gives it substance. The timing opens the celestial gate, and the ritual act directs the intention. Together, these elements create the talisman. This is why the Picatrix places so much importance on form. A symbol is not empty. A properly chosen image can mirror the heavens and become a point of contact between the upper and lower worlds. For the modern esoteric student, this is one of the most valuable lessons of the Picatrix. Symbols are not passive. They organize consciousness, focus force, and create relationship between visible and invisible realities. The Picatrix is deeply connected to Hermetic and Neoplatonic ideas. It assumes that reality is layered, and that the lower world reflects the higher world, and that all things are connected through hidden sympathies. This is the philosophical foundation of talismanic magic. If the cosmos were only dead matter, talismans would make no sense. But if the cosmos is alive with intelligence and correspondence, then images, stones, metals, plants, and rituals can participate in celestial forces. The Picatrix belongs to this older enchanted worldview. It teaches that the universe is a chain of influence, descending from the divine through the heavens and into nature. The magician's task is to understand this chain and work with it consciously. The Picatrix is not only about planets and talismans. It also includes spiritual beings, planetary spirits, and invocations. However, its spirit work is different from the goetic model. The focus is not primarily on commanding named demons into a triangle. The focus is on aligning with celestial and astral powers through images, timing, offerings, and ritual forms. This gives the Picatrix a distinctly astral character. Its spirits are tied to planets, stars, images, and celestial conditions. The magician is not simply calling a being, they are entering into a whole field of cosmic sympathy. This is why the Picatrix feels more like a book of planetary enchantment than a book of spirit domination. The Picatrix is not a gentle book. Some of its material is strange, extreme, and disturbing to modern readers. It includes operations involving animal substances, intense ritual procedures, and formulas that belong to a very different historical world. And for this reason, the Picatrix should be studied carefully, historically, and symbolically rather than copied blindly. This is important to say clearly. Not everything in an old grimoire should be practiced. Some material is historically significant but ethically unacceptable today. The value of the Picatrix is not that every operation should be imitated. Its value is that it preserves a complete theory of astral magic and the ancient belief that celestial powers could be embodied into matter. A serious student studies the text for its philosophy, cosmology, symbolism, and influence, not for reckless experimentation. For the high magician, the Picatrix teaches a major principle. Magic works through alignment. The magician does not simply impose desire upon the world. They must learn the rhythm of the heavens, the nature of the planets, the virtue of materials, and the symbolic language of images. This makes the Picatrix a powerful training text. It teaches patience, timing, observation, correspondence, and precision. The magician must become a reader of the cosmos. The Picatrix also deepens the meaning of talismanic work. A talisman is not merely an object made to get something. It is a meeting point between intention, symbol, matter, and celestial force, and is a physical body for an invisible influence. The Picatrix matters because it became one of the most important sources for medieval and Renaissance astrological magic. It preserved a sophisticated theory of talismans and celestial influence that helped shape later Western esotericism. Renaissance astrology describes it as one of the most important books ever written on astrological magic and notes its Arabic origin under the title Gayat al-Hakim. Its influence can be felt wherever magicians speak of planetary timing, astrological images, celestial correspondences, and talismanic force. It stands behind much of the later Western tradition's understanding of how the heavens impress themselves upon the material world. The Picatrix is difficult, but it's essential. It shows us the roots of planetary magic in a way few other texts do. The Picatrix is one of the great grimoires of celestial magic. It does not simply ask which spirit can be called or what result can be obtained. It asks a deeper question. How does the universe transmit power from the heavens into matter? Its answer is the talisman. The talisman is the heart of the Picatrix because it embodies the entire magical worldview, heaven above, earth below, image between them. The planet gives the force, the symbol gives the form, the material gives the body, the magician gives the intention, and when these are aligned, the invisible becomes concentrated in the visible. This is why the Picatrix remains so important. It teaches that magic is not a random desire. It is a cosmic literacy. It is the ability to read the heavens, understand the qualities of nature, and create a vessel capable of receiving spiritual force. For the student of high magic, the Picatrix is not simply an old book of talismans. It is a reminder that the universe speaks in correspondences. The stars, planets, metals, stones, colors, images, and timing are all part of one symbolic language. The study of the Picatrix is to study that language. And perhaps this is the real aim of the wise, not merely to command the powers of the cosmos, but to understand the sacred pattern by which spirit descends into form. Okay, you guys, that's all I have for you on the Picatrix. Really interesting book, fascinating. So up next, I'm going to be doing a subscriber request. They're wanting me to compare some more secret orders, Boda, Builders of Adam. So I'm going to be doing that, and then we're going to be diving into the Kabbalion and Hermeticism, and that's why I wanted to do the Picatrix, because it involves Neoplatonism and Hermeticism. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. I will see you next time. Bye.